today's gathering. My name is Monica Rudikent. I'm a lecturer here. I'm also a member of Gather for Palestine, a group that belongs to SETU. We come here together today with the Palestinian Doctors Association in Europe Ireland branch and the International Medical Profession Association to mark the launch of a deeply significant publication, a book documenting the lived testimonies of surgeons working in Gaza during the ongoing genocide. This book is not simply a record of events. It is a collection of human voices, voices of the medical profession who have stood on the front line of unimaginable crisis. Their account reminds us of the power of witness, of truth, and of the moral responsibility we hold to listen carefully when those who live the experience speak. For us in SETU, as a university community committed to knowledge, human dignity, and global solidarity, it is a privilege to host this very important event. We also extend a warm welcome to our distinguished speakers, whose contribution and courage have shaped this work and brought it into being. We are joined today by Dr. Morgan McMonagle, consultant vascular and trauma surgeon at University Hospital Waterford, who has undertaken multiple humanitarian missions, including six recent weeks in Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Dr. Mahmoud Abu Marzouk, orthopedic surgeon at Navan Hospital, originally from Gaza and chairman of the Palestinian Doctors Association in Ireland. Dr. Mohammed Al-Urani, who was a lecturer here in physics at SETU Waterford, and Dr. A.B. Al-Sayed, consultant surgeon, ICCI board member, EMPA committee member, and representative of IMPA Ireland, whose extensive career in conflict zones spans more than 3 decades. We are grateful to each one of you for your work, for your presence with us today, and for your commitment to preserving truth through testimony. I also want to thank Dr. Musa Rada, the event organizer, whom was a casual encounter that led to this. So he's a registered dentist and he works here in Tramore. So this afternoon we gather with humility, with respect, and with openness. We recognize the heavy human realities beyond this publication, and we acknowledge the emotional weight these stories may carry. But we may also gather in hope that the understanding leads to compassion, and the compassion can lead to meaningful and sustained change. Thank you to everyone here for taking the time to listen, to reflect, and to bear witness. It is now my pleasure to officially open this event and invite you to engage with this important book and with the experiences shared by our speakers. Thank you very much. So I would like to invite first Dr. Morgan McMonagle to speak here.
Thank you so much for the kind invite for the launch of this book. This is the first time I've seen it. And just flicking through it, it's nice to see a lot of doctors I've worked with, Tanya Hassan, Khalid in Nasser Hospital, David Knott, who I know very well, and a few others. I have kept my own diary. I've been to Gaza 3 times during the current conflict. And it's not a war, it's a conflict, because a war suggests or demands that you have 2 sovereign nations, 2 separate governments, and a military power on either side that go head to head. What we are essentially witnessing in the current conflict is one of the most powerful military armies in the world, fighting what's essentially civilians. And certainly from what I've seen, you can talk about what's the intent. And for some reason, I don't really know why, but the word genocide has become such a dirty word that we are afraid to use it. We're afraid to use it in the media. It's almost like it's defamatory to use the word genocide, despite the fact that we have so many articles, political articles, that have been written over the last 80 years since the end of World War II. And a lot of the human rights that we now recognize and codify have come from World War II, when the word genocide was first used. But yet we're afraid to use the word genocide. We have the Rome Statute, we have Genocide Convention, we have the UN Charter on Human Rights, we've got the European Charter on Human Rights, and they all sing to the same thing about preserving human life through dignity and respect, but most importantly, probably through autonomy and self-determination. Every single human being in every single nation, what separates us from the animals is we demand autonomy and self-determination. And that has now been taken away from the population in Gaza. Certainly the first time I went there was February, March 2024, and I was in a field hospital. I didn't see much of Gaza. We had to go through Rafah to get there, and at the time people had been displaced to Rafah, so you could see there was a lot of disorder. But by then the Israeli forces, and it's not defense forces because they're not defending anything, had not actually arrived on foot yet to Rafah. I then went back a year later to Nasser Hospital, probably the most famous hospital in the world, for all the wrong reasons. And I was there when it was bombed and when the current ceasefire, or the last ceasefire, broke in March of this year. And to see the wave after wave of dead children being brought in with horrific injuries. Some children without a scratch on them because the shockwave kills them, and some horrifically mangled, is probably the only term. And then going back a third time, I only got back 10 days ago, back to Nasser Hospital again, and it's still functioning to a certain degree, but food is trickling in. It's mostly in the form of carbohydrate, in the form of rice. There's some lentils, there's some beans, but there's no protein getting in. And the sort of things that I saw in medical school, in books, kwashiorkor, for example, it's a type of malnutrition where you get carbohydrate but you don't get protein. And it must have been the same child doing the rounds for pictures in every medical textbook, because it was the same child. But something that isn't really seen in sub-Saharan Africa anymore. Not since the 80s anyway. But we were starting to see kwashiorkor in Gaza. This is stuff that should be in the annals of history. But there's something else going on in Gaza, and it's a different form of strategy for genocide. So it's very obvious. We talk about intent, and if you look at the Rome Statute of 1998, it deals with international crimes, crimes of war, and the crime of genocide. I think it's Article 6, could be wrong, 5 or 6. And it says you have to have the intent. So I must go out with the intention to destroy, in whole or in part, a population or a nation or a religion or a race, whatever mode du jour you choose. But I have the intention. How do you prove intent? Well, I've never known any criminal who will stand up and say, yes, I intended to murder that person, because that's murder. Whereas if I say I had no intention and I was just reckless, you might get manslaughter. So the way to look at intent is conduct. What is the conduct? What is the conduct of the Israeli forces in Gaza? And well, the conduct is that 70,000 people are dead. It's probably twice that number by the time they recover all the bodies. And it's probably somewhere between 300 and 500,000 people severely injured. Now, out of your terrible aim as a soldier to injure and kill that many people accidentally, or your conduct points to your intent. Okay, your conduct, if I go out and I drive all the way into the city on the wrong side of the road, clearly I am intending on doing some sort of harm along the way. So let you ponder that on your own. Lastly, I'll just say that not only the genocide that happened in World War II, where you round up hundreds and thousands and millions of people and send them away to die, is awful. But the genocide is happening in Gaza, happening on our home soil. So even if the bombs stop and the bullets stop tomorrow, you could starve a population. There's no running water. There's no heat. There's no sanitation. There's no flushing toilets. There are no roads to drive on. One of the things I saw the first time there was the number of children who were amputees. And when I went back and we were driving around Khan Yunis, and I was lucky we got to go up to as far as Gaza City, I noticed there's a lot of children out in the streets collecting water, collecting fuel, collecting whatever. But I didn't see any amputees. Why? because they can't leave their houses, they can't go out. There are no prostheses, there are no wheelchairs, there's no facilities for them, there's no rehabilitation. So what you've done now is you've turned an entire nation and population upside down. So as children grow up, and everybody knows in Palestine, families tend to be large. I think the average number of children is 8 and 10. And as they grow up, they take care of their elderly patients as they grow old. That's now role reversal. So you have this enormous population of disabled children who will grow up to be disabled adults, who won't be able to work to the same degree to cater to care for their families, their loved ones, their elderly parents, and to rebuild. And that is a well-known tactic of guerrilla warfare in every country. There's a reason why in Africa a lot of guerrillas chop off a dominant arm. So you can't vote, you can't write, you can't do manual labor. It's very clever. There's a reason why it's better to injure a soldier in war than to kill him, because it takes an average of 6 people to look after that soldier. So you very quickly cripple the entire organization. And it's exactly the same, the intention. People in Gaza cannot get stuff brought in, nuts, bolts, tools to fix things. Why would you not want a population to refix itself if there's truly peace going on? Because you've spent so much money and time and effort destroying it, you don't want it to build back up. There's a reason for that, so it can never get back on its feet. When we were going in on this occasion, we were not allowed to bring medical equipment in. One of my British plastic surgeons who went in with us had a £20,000 dermatome taken from him. There's even a sign saying, no medical equipment allowed in. There's no baby formula allowed in. But they're allowing vaccinations in, polio, measles. Why? Well, we all know from COVID that infectious diseases don't respect borders. So it's in Israel's interest that Gaza doesn't get overrun with polio and measles. So I've probably said enough, a few things to ponder, other than real peace and a real peace process. At the end of the day, regardless of who's to blame, there is a responsibility to allow any population that's been attacked or any population that's been destroyed the self-determination and the autonomy to rebuild itself up independently. We were told by the Director of Nursing on several times in Nasser Hospital that if and when there's a mass casualty event, concentrate on the children and the women of childbearing age, because they know from the conduct what's going on, that they're trying to wipe out a population. And if you don't have younger people growing up and you don't have women getting pregnant, then it'll only take 1 or 2 generations before the Palestinians will be gone. So I think I'll leave it there. I think this book is excellent. I think it's an excellent testimony, because really at the end of the day, if we're going to really hold nations to account on any international crime or any war crime, the only weapon we have are words. The only weapon we have is words. And although the wheels of justice turn slowly, hopefully they'll turn in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McMonagle. These are really important word of wisdoms, and thank you for all the work that you have done in Gaza. So the next person to come is Dr. Mahmoud Abu Marzouk. So if you want to make your way.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for gathering today to launch the Diary of a Surgeon Witness to the Genocide. It is very important testimony, as previous speaker mentioned. It is not only a testimony, it is the voices of the healthcare worker from Gaza. So it all started when we are, as International Medical Professional Association, Mr. Abdul Basti will talk about it later on. We gather together every almost a week after the October 7, and sometimes even twice in a week from all over the world, from Canada, US, Qatar, Malaysia, via the Zoom. and like we felt very helpless with whatever happening, as we are outside and our colleagues and friends, they are barely survive while they are saving the lives. So while the mission's going to Gaza, and we are like standing here with my Palestinian passport, I can't go there, unfortunately. So what we have done, we tried to collect all the stories from those doctors who came back from Gaza. At the first, it wasn't as we are planning to do a book, but as the ideas matured and connected, and we able to make the book happen after 2 years. The first version was in Arabic and been translated to many languages. I think is almost 5 languages. We have the German, Spanish, Turkish language, and Bangla as well. So hopefully more languages will be translated in this book, because it's really the testimony for the history. Back to my slides. Summer 2023, I've been in Gaza for my vacation, my holiday. The most beautiful mornings, I go to my sister house, drinking the coffee. The most beautiful coffee I get from Noor. She done the best coffee ever I tasted. I watched her. I go to the kitchen. I watch her how she doing it, and she giving me the recipe how to do the coffee. Because I go back to Ireland, no one will do it for me as her best coffee. And I have that hardship since then, after she been murdered by the Zionist. Every morning when I drink my coffee, my heart is broken, because the taste of the coffee is not there. It's just... So we have spoken about the book. It is really important to distribute it, to spread the word. As Mr. Morgan said, is very important. This is the only weapon we have in this world. This picture is very important for all of us. If you don't know the history, you won't understand the conflict right now. This is my right hand side. This is Palestine before 1948. So the white dots where the Zionist colonization started, and as far as it goes until now, even the green Gaza is not anymore. So this is in 2000 in the most left side, and this is West Bank, and this is Gaza. This is what have left after 80 years. So it's basically displacement, ethnic cleansing, and ending with the genocide. I think the genocide started long ago, but now we realizing it. And the massacres is not only what happened since 2023, it is happening all the time since 1948. I don't know, you know the names, Sabra Shatila, Deir Yassin, so many Palestinian villages being demolished and completely destroyed. And it is almost the same picture, but in color on the right hand side, in the left hand side. Sorry. So this is 2025, where the Palestinian being displaced from the north to the south, and this is very recent during the winter, how the tent, and this is 1948. So I think, as Mr. Morgan said, like all the convictions, all the laws, all the morals, we haven't changed the world anything. Those are our colleagues from the medical care team in Gaza. This is not all the pictures, because you can't fit 1,722 medical care workers being murdered for the past 2 years, almost in a rate of 70 doctors and healthcare professionals in a month. 70 in a month, imagine. You can't forget this high qualified gynecologist. He's the one who brought the IVF to Gaza. He's very high professional. He was a lecturer. And this website too, if you want to go through all the names, all the doctors who've been murdered during the genocide, Healthcare Workers Watch. So some of them been abducted and no one knows what is their destiny. Same like this gynecologist as well. And some of them been killed and murdered. This is my colleague, which Adnan al-Borsh. He been kidnapped while he's moving from hospital to hospital, being tortured to death. And this very bright, brilliant plastic surgeon, he been qualified from the RCSI. He has loads of qualifications, and he been murdered with his mom. When I talk about this, I can't forget Hammam al-Loh, when he been talked to the TV and they asked him why you didn't evacuate the hospital. And this is the word you never forget. If I go, who will treat my patients? So they are care. They know what they are doing. The qualification they have hold in their hands is not just a certificate. And he been murdered with his family in the north. Hussam Abu Safiya, he's the head of one of the North hospitals. He kept until last minute, and he's still in the jail until now, and we don't know what's happening. And the interviewer, you know him, Anas Sharif, he's one of the journalists kept until last minute in the Shifa hospital and also being attacked deliberately to be killed. And this picture, I don't think so anyone can forget when Hussam Abu Safiya, he approached the tanks with stand feet to tell them we are resilient, this is our land and we don't afraid. Rassan Abu Zuhri, he's my teacher, he's my senior. I done loads of on-calls with him in Gaza hospital. He's the first to taught me orthopedic. We don't know what's his destiny at the moment. He's been kidnapped for more than 16 months now. Mr. Morgan, he said it is deliberate genocide. They know what they are doing. Ismail, those are a few slides of my colleagues and friends when I was in Malaysia. More than 25 PhD holder being killed deliberately. They've been, like, you know, targeted as individual with the small drones. Saeed Dabash, PhD in international law, and those guys, they finished their PhD and back to Gaza to build the community, to serve their nation. Ra'ad Gaddura, one of my very close friend in Malaysia, been killed with his whole family. The only survivor was his wife. Zaim, he was PhD in managing and economy also. He's not anymore with us. Rifat Al-Arir, you may have heard his words and hopefully we will never forget it. He is the one said, we are not only numbers. More than 270 journalists, I think it is as a collective, First, Second World War and other wars, not as much journalists being killed. So they want us to be silent. Those are the people I met in Gaza in the summer. Many of them not with us anymore. Rifat, he's only celebrating his 17th. He's not anymore. Noor, this is the beautiful lady used to do the coffee for me. And she only been killed after giving a birth of a baby 3 days. And the baby survived the attack. Her sister also been killed in the same attack. Her dad also gone. Her middle brother Muhammad also gone. Left their mom with broken heart with each moment in the day. So this is Dina. She was like designer. She hoped to come to Ireland, but. And this is a teacher of my kids. He used to teach my kids online for many, during COVID mainly. And we visited him in Gaza, but also with his family being murdered. This is Gaza. I believe we will build it again. The kids in Gaza, they deserve more than what they have. More than 2,000 kids been murdered in the past 2 years. 40 been injured, and so many orphans and so many amputees. Some of the surgeons who came back from Gaza, they said, the first time I see a kid with a 3 limb being amputated. So this is Gaza before the war. Beautiful, big universities, Islamic and Al-Azhar University, more than 2,500 medical students. And to know how Palestinians are resilient, the university, they are still going on. We teach them online. This is how the hospitals before being completely demolished. All the specialties being in Gaza. Gaza wasn't a rubble before 2023. I think this is Nasser Hospital before being completely like, this is one of the hospitals still at least running. Indonesia Hospital was big hospital being completely run by the Indonesia government, completely destroyed now. This is Turkey Hospital, was the only hospital doing the oncology and the cancer patient. And the cancer patient now, they are only waiting for their hope. So in Gaza also we have the training scheme for all specialties almost. This is one of the oldest hospital in Gaza, the Baptist Hospital. It is in the 1882. So it is attached to the church, which one of the oldest church in the world. And this is what happened. And that massacre, almost 500 people gone, because the people used to just to go to save themselves around the hospitals or near to the church or any safe place. One of the most painful stories to hear about those people who saved their eggs or sperm in the hospital. One of the most sophisticated hospital in Gaza. It was private hospital actually. Those who didn't get a chance to have normal babies, so they go for the IVF. They call it Basma Center. More than 4,000 frozen embryo being destroyed, 1,000 sample of sperm and eggs. Keep the solidarity with Palestine, free Gaza, and try to support. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abu Marzouk. Thank you for your words. Thank you for giving us the numbers and also the names and the faces. It's very hard. I'd like to invite now Dr. Mohammad Al-Urani, and he was a lecturer here in SETU, and he might want to say a few words.
Thank you very much for your coming. It is sad to be here. It is a sad situation. Nobody would like it, but it is occupation. It is occupation. What do you expect from occupation? Except suppressing the occupied. Those occupied are so suppressed, and that's what we looked at. If you remember Ireland, related to why the Irish people, the Israeli pointed out, if you don't like it, go to Ireland. Why the Irish people? Because the Irish people have suffered. Like what they have suffered there, they are suffering from that still occupation. There's not a free ceasefire, but still killing. There is still killing at the moment. Not on the same scale, but still killing. If they know that there is a person from this Hamas group, as if Hamas is coming from another country. No, those people are reared in the camps. They are reared under the occupation, and they come together to fight the occupation. They are not fighting Israelis only. They want to fight the occupation and free themselves. That is so the Israeli have told them, no, this is occupation and you have no right at all. And who helped them is the people with liberty status of liberty. You know, the status of liberty, they are people, they want to fight everyone to make it free. And they put the status, they gave it to them by the French people, and many years, and now they are saying, no. Those people, they don't deserve it. We want to make a Riviera. That's what they want to do with these things. If you look at the Irish people, now the plight has happened throughout Europe. Spain, France, Italy, and England, and Ireland. Who suffered the famine? The Irish people. Why? Because they were occupied by the British. And they say, I was reading about it, the grain, and I saw a film, I can't remember the film, about an Irish person. He was fighting with the British. When he come to Ireland and he saw his people, so he started to fight the British here. But they show in this film, and it is documented, that grain still grown in Ireland but transferred to England. So they don't need to be suffering from famine. They eat grass from the street and they die through the grass. They said the people, why don't let them to fish? Sea is around them. Why they didn't fish? You don't have the tools. Look at Africa. There is no tools in their hand. Look at Gaza. We are surrounding them. The person they want to fish, he goes few miles, but they are stopped by the Israelis not to go farther, otherwise we shoot you. And they have a tactic about the fish not to let it to go into that. He goes the whole day, he might come, if he is lucky, with one single fish. One single fish, I am going there. That's what they suffer, that's what they are fighting. They are not only fighting just for luxury things. If you look at the war in Ukraine now, they want to make a peace, and they are losing. Who is losing? The Ukrainian people. Why they left the country to here? Because they are peaceful. Nobody wants to fight. But the aggressor all the time has the upper hand and big hand, and they are submitting to him slowly to lose these things. And that is the attitude of occupying. Israel will not stop until the people of the world, yet they are not people of the world because of one single nation. All the nation, they agree it is occupation. All the nation, they say it is illegal settlement. Illegal settlement. All the nation except Israel, except United States. No, do whatever you wish. And that put it in our mind. So we will not stop until those Palestinians are free with their dignity and sovereignty. Thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you, Mohammed. So now Dr. El Sayed will tell us about his experience, and we'll try and bring up.
Here, let's move from there's a project. Okay. There was another this project. Right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. Waterford has a special place in my heart. I lived here and worked in 2000 as a level of registrar. Then I worked as a consultant, cover most of the consultant like Prof. Simon Cross, who's a vascular surgeon. I don't know, I think he retired now. Mr. Hurley, the urologist, famous urologist. And I covered the breast unit for several months. And I loved the city. It is a character city. Before I go to I'm presenting the IMPA, International Medical Profession Association in Ireland. Dr. Mahmoud is also a member. IMPA started not too long, in 2003. Is unprofitable association, and really is medical, focus in medical catastrophe or need help anywhere in the world. Of course, the Gaza is taking most effort. Might be another place you don't hear much about it, even it is worse, is Sudan. We have some friend who's supposed to be here, but he went to Gaza today, and he's just back from Syria, and before he was in Sudan also. So it is, we have like branches in most of the world. We have from America, from Africa, from Middle East or Gulf, and also Europe, few countries of Europe. What other, we cover different files. There should be, there is presentation, longer presentation with slides. It didn't come to the system. Anyway, so we focus in few files like education, with sharing with PalMed, like concentrate in the medical student and nursing who if we can adjust them in another place or even by online teaching. Also sending doctors through like Mercy International to Gaza. If it is available, you know, it was closed, the Egyptian side and Jordan side was closed from time to time, but we try our best. And also projects, these slides, I will go through them quickly. Because I will talk to them later, because we have already projects which is very recent and came from the Minister of Health. Also from our focusing in boycott, medical boycott. If when you go to the Lidl and Aldi or whatever, or Starbucks or something like that, these small things, even it is effective and it is important to do what you can. But for medical, boycott is huge, billions. And we target the public and the doctor and specialist, the doctor and pharmacist, like we do them lecture worldwide. Lecture how to boycott. When you doctor boycott a certain medicine which support Israel direct and is known, we don't just say no, don't do that. No, what's the other? There is another replacement from other company and even maybe cheaper. So why we don't move from this to that? So the medical boycott is huge. Also, we do telemedicine, which focusing now in psychology and psychiatrists, and this huge now. Most now, as Dr. Harani said, still the killing go, but not the same scale. The psychology. Imagine a child lost parent, family. How do you think? So this is also going well. And the media is very important. Media changing the world now. The new generation, we see what happening in America and everywhere. The Gen Z, really they are going to change the world because they awake, find their politician big there, and the media misleading them for decades, misleading the generation for decades. Gaza exposed all that. And really, I am very impatient. I see the world is changing with this new generation, which he has no fear to face and to change. Media, we have done conference. We have a big conference in Dublin in May. And also using the social media with putting some ads for boycott and others, and spread the word. And also the books, which I'm going to talk about. This book is not a usual book or like any book. It is a heartbeat of surgeon and doctors from operating room under the bombard and silence of the world. So it is not a book written by someone imagining or trying to see or from media. No, they lived there, they were there, and who will read it, even when we, as a doctor, and we know what does it mean. I have a long war injury, surgical war injury. I have a good experience before in 80s when I was young. Unfortunately, and you can understand that why I couldn't go. I helped the other to go, but myself I couldn't go because I couldn't pass. I'm Egyptian by origin. I couldn't pass there because I'm not wanted, because I'm talking about that. If you are talking about what's happening and all that, they can't allow you. Yeah. So, and this is very, very hard. Like when you see, like Mr. Morgan, Dr. Morgan, be there, and we can't go there. And I have 4 years of war experience. Gaza is real. I was there in 2013 because the border was open there because we have democracy at that time. We went, by the way, 35 from about 20 nationalities from Ireland, and we were very organized there. So Gaza, it was after 2012 the war. Still the Ministry of Prime Minister's building was still there, rubble, but you feel, this is what I felt. I didn't expect that as Egyptian. You feel that you are in an area of hope. It was very beautiful. Dr. Mahmoud showed some. And even when we went to the university and the hospital, is high standard like they, from nothing, and they can build. They are the people, they are capable to stand. Even they were bust out the war, and when you talk and see the children, they are full of smile and for hope and life. It was, to be honest, beautiful than some parts of Egypt. And now you can look to the picture how it looks now. The book, by the way, when you go to the barcode, there's a barcode in the back. Because when we started to find it 530 pages, we want to add some picture, but we find it will be too big. So when you scan the barcode, you will see videos and pictures. Projects, this now. We have direct communication to the Ministry of Force and the Ministry of Health. We started to study what we can do to revive the health system in Gaza, and said, oh, stop. We might think, we're here, not there. So we might get with ideas and the plan, and like, it's not suitable for there. So let us communicate with them and wait them until they come with their projects, and they send it to us. They are very organized, very disciplined, very modern in their. So they sent this about. I can't go through all of them, but I'll give an idea. It's about 50 pages of the projects. They divided to urgent and immediate, and intermediate and longer term, from up to 5 years. So they know what they want and they know what to do, but they need our hands. So this, I think we can help to access it, because anyone can see a project and carry a project with association or group or whatever, or a part of it. At the moment, we are working about the incubation as IMPA. We have the incubation, the project of incubation for premature neonate. So what I mean, it is to go direct to the Minister of Health, and is well studied and well established. And in details, when you go through this, you find every project is in details, how long it takes, how much it costs, and all that. Again, really, we are proud to be in Ireland and Irish, because the support we get from our friends in other countries envy us about to be in a country like Ireland, and I hope to continue like that. Irish people, they have the feeling and the history. We have the zoning history, because, in one time, President McAleese, which really, she's a high standard president, she was inviting us in ICC, Islamic Culture Center in Dublin, and she said, we were before you like a colonization. Now we are enriched our culture. So, being Irish, really, we are proud of that. And thank you very much for coming, and nice to see Irish faces all around.
Thank you, Dr. El-Sayed. It's great to see also the plans for the future, the project for the future. It gives hope, and it's very important to keep the hope and see what can be done, not just now, but also planning ahead. So it's very important. So this is the end of the talk. Two things. One is there are books for sale outside. So if anybody wants to purchase the book, you can do so, and you can maybe even have it signed for those who want to.